Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Anthony, or Big B Stats, and today we're going to be checking out the book 2, which is actually complete, as we found every single page. So if you guys did miss that video, I'll be sure to link it down below in the description. If you guys want to find all the pages to unlock this book, feel free to do so. So what we're going to do is we're going to read all the entire pages in the book. So sit back, relax, and let's get this started. And if you do enjoy today's video, remember to leave a like on it and feel free to subscribe for more. So let's go ahead and get this started. So chapter 1, alleys. As you can see here, we have Willow's hideout, 2 large beds and 1 smaller one. So here we go. So all I could think about was the arrest before the whole infection happened. Doggy and I located 2 of the 3 wanted criminals in Lucella. As it turns out, they have been lurking in the alleys, a dark and filthy place. It suited their lifestyle, after all. After frantically searching for one of the criminals while being hunted by another, we reached her, Willow. She's been wanted for many years now. It seems that her criminal behavior was in her blood, as her parents enjoyed stealing, apparently, just as much as her. When we searched her room, Doggy made a few discoveries. He found a hatch with a small crawl space. This must have been where she, and presumably any other criminals, hid to avoid being found. What confuses me even more is that there were 3 beds, but she was the only one living there. They haven't been touched in a long time, shown by dust. Just as I finished the case, another one opened. Who did these beds belong to? Chapter 2, the store. So the store half empty and half full of supplies. So here we go. Back to the present times at the safe place, Mimi had found and fixed up an old radio, which was fantastic news. It was missing batteries, so Zizzy, Pony, and I left to find some at the store. It was surprising to see that the store hadn't been looted completely when we arrived. I guess whoever tried didn't come out of it the same way they went in. We managed to find the batteries and get out of there. Mimi was practically jumping with joy at the sight of us returning. A few minutes later, after Mimi had gotten it working, we heard a strange voice to meet us at the Old Oak, just outside of the city. Pony was very reluctant to go, as his previous experience with the survivor groups had gotten him trust issues. Everyone else, myself included, wanted to check it out. Seeing any other survivors would comfort us by making us feel less lonely. Pony was right. It was an ambush from a group he used to be in, the Silver Paw. Led by Willow, she took Zizzy and left. We had to go after her. Chapter 3, Refinery. This place still haunts me. Pony and I followed closely behind as they took Zizzy to their base. We found it strange that she took her instead of us. Willow knew both Pony and me, but not her. Maybe it was just to get information out of her. However, there was no chance she'd get anything out of Zizzy. She's a fighter. We eventually reached a secluded oil refinery. Pony remarked that this settlement was not one he is familiar with. This group was potentially larger than what we've seen of them. Pony and I infiltrated the building, narrowly escaping a tiger with desperation in his eyes. We find Zizzy in a damp room fighting an infected former officer. It was Polly, a senior. Despite his age, he was very capable of handling many hand-to-hand situations. Unfortunately, Zizzy was caught off guard and scratched by Polly. We were distraught and lost. She told us it would be best for us to leave before we get into any more trouble. Pony didn't want to leave her at all. It was new to see Pony so emotional. I was too all familiar with the loss of others. I've seen it happen so many times that by now, while hurt, I was ready for it. We said our goodbyes to Zizzy and we left the cell to create distraction for us to escape. We'll never forget you, Zizzy. Chapter 4, the safe place. Zizzy's room. Georgie's worries woke me up to the sound of explosions. Something horrible was going on, so we evacuated the safe place as soon as we possibly could, all without Z and Zuzi. Pony searched all over, but couldn't find them anywhere. He felt personally responsible for them without Zizzy around, so he was giving himself a hard time for losing them. As we escaped the building, we were greeted by none other than Willow and the Silver Paw. They had a rocket launcher too. If there was no better time to poop yourself, now would be the time. Willow was furious. She told us that because of our actions at the refinery, many of her people had to be relocated elsewhere. If you ask me, I believe she used Zizzy against us. Willow took her away because she knew we tried to rescue her. Then on our way back, she followed us, leading her to our home. It was all staged to get rid of us. Her group took us away and locked us up in a makeshift cell in a factory. I can't believe we played right into her filthy paws. Chapter 5, Sewers. A classroom. In a place like this? Why? After spending almost a whole day in this rusting cell, we were found by Z and Zuzi. They managed to sneak into the factory's sewer system, then break into our cell. We were relieved to know that they were okay. They were trained how to handle themselves well, so it shouldn't have been such a shock. Still, seeing their faces gave us so much morale. They needed one of us to help them get to the cell key so we could get everyone out safely. The sewers were too dangerous for all of us to go in. The moment I entered the sewers, I felt a cold breeze. It wasn't an ordinary breeze, as this one pierced right through me. This is when the whispers started. I heard voices, but couldn't make out what they were saying. Soon enough, I began to witness these orange eyes watching me. I felt like I was going insane, so I did my best to work with the Zebra Sisters and get the key as soon as possible. We eventually got out and secured the security key to open up the cells. When we left the sewers, the whispers stopped, but I still felt uneasy and followed. Something didn't feel right. We were caught by Willow, who shot at Pony. Giraffe heroically dived to take the bullet for him. Willow had gone too far and needed to be stopped. She's done far too much to us, and my frustration got the best of me. I told the others to leave and get Giraffe to safety as I stayed behind to finally put an end to Willow. Pony joined my side. He too was tired of her and would not let her get away with anything else. Chapter 6, The Factory. Willow's office. I guess she still sleeps in the same bed. Willow almost teasingly gave us a head start in our duel. She fired her weapon into the air, destroying the light above us and covering the scene in darkness. The whispers started to take over again. This time, he and not responsible were all I could make out. As Pony and I made our way around the factory, we came across the Silver Paws members in danger. We tried to save as many as we could while taking care of Willow. After knocking her out, Pony and I left the factory to regroup with our friends. Willow got up and followed us. Not ready to admit defeat, she aimed once again at us. Before noticing Zizzy's sisters, she looked puzzled and saddened to see them. The tiger walked by with the key on his side, throwing a dagger to disarm Willow. He had probably seen us and his friends in need and was tired of Willow. She broke down and apologized for her actions. I had never seen her so beaten down before. The Silver Paw members that we rescued thanked us for saving them. Willow told us that she known how we can save Zizzy. The revelation caught us off guard because we did not expect Willow to help us, let alone know how to bring someone back. Pony, as usual, expressed reluctance, yet she insisted. Willow is confusing, to say the least, but what other choice did we have? If there was any hope of a cure, we had to take it. This was our chance to finally fight back against the horrible infection tearing us all apart. Mimi stayed behind to take care of Giraffe as the rest of our group left on our journey. Chapter 7, Port. A barricaded staircase. I wonder if anyone's still up there. We arrived at the port where Willow was hoping to find her group's tugboat. Unfortunately, it seemed that the tiger has beaten us to it. The lighthouse there could potentially help us find a nearby ship, so we got to work activating it. The town really showed the terrible effects of an infection on people. Doors locked, barricades created with chairs, tables, and whatever else they could find. We're going to find a way to end this. I'm sure of it. Things will go back to normal someday. Almost as soon as we lit the lighthouse, a nearby boat approached and docked the port. Our group boarded the ship and met Captain Budgie. She was a cautious yet entertaining sailor. We told her that we needed to get across the sea. Unfortunately, she told us that we didn't have enough fuel to make the trip to Dove Port and that the reserves were locked in the ship with her infected crew. Willow and I went to get the fuel. Chapter 8, Ship. An old photo of the Medora I found. Once Willow and I reached the fuel container, an infected crewmate approached us from behind. It must have accidentally hit the lock button on the container because we found ourselves locked in. I kept telling Willow that it would be the best for us to start getting along, as nothing good could come from us keeping our hostilities. None of us are innocent, and it's time for us to accept that. Shortly after, our friends found us inside the fuel container. Pony told us that they got worried about us, so they began to search for us. Our reunion was quickly interrupted by the sounds of explosions. We quickly met with Captain Budgie outside, and she informed us that we arrived at Dove Port. It could just be seen off in the distance, accompanied by explosive lights. The fuel we retrieved should be enough to give the Medora to push to the docks there. I gulped and looked around, seeing the worried faces on everyone else. We had no idea what we were in for. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end. That is book 2. Amazing journal here. I thought that was incredible. So yeah guys, if you did also miss our read on book 1, some really interesting stuff, make sure to check it out. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like and share. And again, also feel free to subscribe for more if you're new. Such a great read on the journal that we have written, during Piggy, during our experience at least. And I really enjoyed that. But thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.